Cricket for Americans. Nick here.
Gabe, the Night Watchman.
The laughing man over here. He's been cracking up for about 5 minutes. I'm just going to start. He'll eventually get out of his system.
The professional. The consummate professional.
Absolutely not. We have recently experienced a little surge of viewership. And the funny thing is, you try to explain like, oh, why is this or that? I have no idea. We just got lucky. The videos have not gotten any better. The quality has not improved. The professionalism has not improved. So if you're one of the newer viewers of these, I can't even talk, then we appreciate you watching. We don't deserve it, but thank you so much for watching.
Thumbnail? No. Personalities?
Nope.
No. Content? No. I mean, honestly, it's just the same old Nick and Gabe reacting to stuff. Having fun, it's just, being ourselves, but we appreciate it.
We appreciate it. And also, we like to pay it forward. We know there's certain YouTubers out there that will definitely steal what we react to, and they'll react to it next week because we reacted to it and didn't get a copyright strike on it. So you're welcome if you're in that boat.
You're welcome, YouTube land. You're welcome.
We are going to check out part 5 right now. That's right. It's like 3 weeks in a row now of checking out Science of Sport Cricket. I always think the title's kind of weird the way it's worded, but we've been reacting to all different parts. The first part in Boring Reviews, our other channel. The other parts here in Cricket for Americans. If you missed the other parts, go ahead and check them out. Just put Boring Reviews, Science of Sport, and then check out the other ones with CFA. We're going to check out part 5. Last week, it was about the batting, right? They talked about...
I believe so.
I'm getting them mixed up. I think part 3 was about the swing and reverse swing.
Right.
And then part 4, I think there was some science. I remember the guy with the coach was helping him out to distribute the weight in his legs.
Yeah. How to distribute the weight on his legs. Yeah, so you're right. It was some batting to it. And again, it's funny. And I think this is true for all sports. You don't really start thinking about it until you get older and become more of a professional. But when you first start learning the game and you just play from natural instinct, you can do things just by mimicking someone else, but you're not understanding exactly what you're doing. You know what I mean? You don't know the purpose behind it. And I remember talking about how good of a coach he was because he was explaining exactly how to transfer the weight because, from your back foot to your front foot when you're swinging. Because I remember in the baseball, it's the same thing. You want to transfer that weight. And I would sit there like, okay. But you're even afraid to ask a question, but like, okay. You're not doing it, Lara. Okay, I'll try harder, coach. But you're afraid to ask, how do you do it? Because you're like, they expect you just to see it. Sometimes it needs to get a little bit more in depth about it because you can only mimic so far. Then you have to understand the purpose behind what you're doing.
I completely agree. And even as a viewer, you can get lost watching sports. NFL football here in the States is a huge sport. And so when the season's going on, you're watching like NFL Live and different experts, or even during the game, and they're talking about different terminology that I played in high school, been watching my whole life, different terminology that only the pros know, like a certain block or this or that, or this kind of cut. And I have no idea what they're talking about. And they speak to the audience as if all of us are coaches and we all know that terminology.
Right.
Sometimes you need to have someone that can explain it on your level. Like that coach did. He showed him. He explained it. You see? So we're going to go ahead and continue on with this. If you like our reaction anyway, please don't forget to
like and subscribe. Hit that thumbs button. I guess it helps. Thumbs up button. It helps.
We have heard that it helps.
It helps the algorithm or something like that.
That's what other people say?
That's what other people say.
So we're going to stick with that story. Here we go.
Very important to have the knees slightly bent because that means you're more evenly balanced. Okay? And from that position I can move forward easily or back easily.
The science of biomechanics can help a batsman improve his technique. At Sheffield Hallam University, our pro, Richard Pinion, is put through his paces. Infrared cameras record his batting, which is then automatically converted to a digital image. Biomechanist Roger Bartlett explains what makes a good batsman.
You're using all of the muscles of the body, so you're trying to lead with your legs, then bring your trunk and your arms into the shot. And if you do this, you tend to finish up with a very smooth and well-timed action, and it looks smooth and well-timed rather than trying to hit the ball too hard. If you use your muscles properly and in the right sequence, then the shot will always look very well-controlled and well-timed, and the ball will kind of fly off the bat to the boundary, almost looking quite effortless.
If I'm thinking about anything other than just the ball, then it's going to be a detraction from my shot, so I tend to just stand with the bat raised in a comfortable position.
Beautiful shot.
India produces some of the best batsmen in the world. This is Sunil Gavaskar. He's a classic batsman with a textbook delivery. In his 17-year career, Sunny played in 348 matches and scored nearly 26,000 runs.
A single takes Gavaskar on to 221, his high score in Test match cricket.
Fellow cricketing legend West Indian Brian Lara doesn't play according to the laws of biomechanics. He holds his bat above his head, as if he's playing baseball.
And he let the ball go get so deep.
It takes real genius to break the rules. He has the highest test score ever, 375 against England in 1994.
Oh, damn.
Well, that is dead straight down the ground.
Brian Lara starts with his bat in the conventional place, which is down by his feet, but then he has a very, very rapid and a very pronounced backswing, which means that he has a lot of momentum to transfer from the backswing into the downswing. But I think it's more than just the biomechanics and some slightly unconventional biomechanics of the stroke. I think it relies probably more on how that batsman is able to interpret the cues from the bowler and to read those cues very quick, so that they can make very, very late adjustments to the stroke.
I know we've mentioned it many times, but I'm ceased to be amazed, if that's the phrase, at he's starting his shot when the ball is still rising in the air before it comes down, before it's bounced. It's amazing that they already have an idea, probably just from experience, just doing it a million times, of where that ball is going to bounce, hopefully what it's going to do.
Right.
And I know we're seeing highlights of them hitting 4s and 6s, so it looks like they do that every single time. We know they don't every single time. But it's crazy to me that they're able to predict what's going to happen before it's even hit the ground.
I mean,
because I would think conventionally, wait till it hits the ground and then let me react. But you're done if you do that.
that is, again, if you don't, then exactly. If you wait, you're done. So you're reading it out of the hand, and to your point, it's literally just experience. It's the same thing in baseball. 99% of the time, these guys are guessing, but they're guessing on, in this count, this guy is going to throw me something. I'm looking at his wrist, and if I see even a slight bend in that wrist, it's a breaking ball. So I'm looking for something that I'm going to spit on, unless it's going to be, you know what I mean, like in the zone. I'm keeping my hands back. And sometimes, maybe there was no bend in the wrist, and that's when you see a guy, you take a fastball straight down the pipe.
And they just tip their cap and they go back.
And you're like, I thought it was a breaking ball, because you're looking for that bend in the wrist in baseball because you think it's going to be a breaking ball. Same thing here. They mentioned it 2 videos again. You got to read it out of the hand, because if you're waiting until that ball's already delivered, you're done. You don't have enough time. And it's just literally hours and hours and hours of working on your craft in the cages, people bowling to you, in the nets, you seeing how that ball's going to react just time and time and time again. And then eventually, you know what I mean? You pick up the timing. There was this guy this year in baseball. I can't remember his name. He's a rookie, but I think he was a rookie, or maybe he's a sophomore. But anyway, he had a wrist injury, so he could not swing. So they're like, well, why are they putting him in there? And then, and Trevor, not Trevor Bauer, what's the from Kansas City, the Zach Greinke was having fun knowing that he couldn't swing or whatever, so he's throwing eephus pitches up there. He's doing that. He punches them out. Obviously, it was from the Dodgers, Miguel Vargas, because he had a wrist injury, and people were like, "Why?" Because they want to train his eyes. It doesn't matter if he's swinging; his eyes are going to be able to pick up those balls.
Like in spring training.
In spring training, they wouldn't let him swing, but it was like, you got to watch it.
I know what you're talking, and this is off topic, but he was like the Greek god of walks in spring training because he couldn't swing it. But like a lot of guys couldn't get him out. They had to have known that he wasn't 100%.
Right.
But he was walking at least once or twice every single game, which is absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, but I mean, and here's the thing: in spring training, the pitchers are also working on their stuff, trying to say, "Hey, can I throw this for a strike?" And this will be a perfect opportunity for me to go at a batter and see if I can throw this for a strike, because I know he's not swinging any which way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
the guy with all the different little balls on him or whatever when they're connected to the computer, I think the most important thing he said is, I can only think about the ball. If I think about anything else, the argument I had with my family or the things I got to do, no, I'm done. All I'm thinking about is that ball. I think that's so important. Concentration.
Concentration, for sure.
Stay away from him.
But it takes more than unconventional biomechanics to become a great batsman. Batsmen use their powers of concentration to get into the zone. Sports psychologist Steve Bull explains.
I wish I could tell you exactly how to get into the zone, but if I could, I'd probably be living on my own personal island in Hawaii and appearing on the Oprah Winfrey Show. It's an elusive concept. But essentially what we do know is that when cricketers are in the zone, they tend to describe the experience as being effortless, supreme confidence. They don't have to think about what their body's doing. They achieve this sense of perfect rhythm almost.
Rod Marsh knows how elusive this concept can be.
Some days I felt as though I was going to make runs and hit a couple of really good shots and then got out, and other days I didn't think I was prepared mentally. I didn't think I was ready. I thought the opposition maybe was too good. I thought the pitch conditions didn't suit me, and then I get a decent score. And at the end of it, I'd say, well, how the hell did I do that? And I must have been in the zone to have done it. But what that zone was, I mean, to me as a batsman, was very difficult to recognise. Otherwise, I would have got more runs, I suppose.
Science can help cricketers with their batting, but in this battle, they need to choose their weapon well. Eric Loxton handcrafts bats for the best cricket players.
I know this one will be good enough for a world-class player. In fact, it is for a world-class player. It's for Mark Butchers. And Mark is not very particular, but there's little things that he does like.
I hope they explain the science of why they make it.
One of them is in here. When I'm pulling this out now,
Exactly.
he likes it right in there.
I think actually a previous video when we saw how they made bats or something like that, I think they had said it's something like, if it was, correct me if I'm wrong, so I'm probably wrong. If it's one piece, it has a better chance of shattering because you have all that, it's one piece, all that pressure. When it's two pieces, even though it's connected, like it kind of has a little bit of a give, so does it shatter as easy? I don't know. It can absorb the ball hitting it. I don't know.
I mean,
I'm not sure.
Just conventionally, baseball bats are made from one solid piece of wood and it's all ground down. Now, they do tend to shatter. You're right about that. But I would think that the contact you make is so much more solid. And guess what? For a hit, now, I guess that's a little different in cricket and baseball because hits are a lot more prevalent in cricket than in baseball. But you ask any batter, any professional batsman, no, I got it wrong again, batter in baseball, they'll give up a baseball bat for a hit any day of the week. I will trade. If that's all I got to do, I'll
gladly sacrifice that shillelagh.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, that's how hard it is to get a hit in baseball, so I'll give it up. But I don't know. Like you said, it might help with the durability of it, but I would just think, sometimes I think Ozjad had mentioned that the batters can hear the click of the bat, you know what I mean, when they're swinging, because it's two different pieces. And can you hit it solidly enough if it's not one piece? Obviously, the research has gone behind it.
And I'm sure they use glue and stuff, but it's still crazy that they're able to put those things together and then to continue to shape it, and it's essentially now one piece, and it holds up. It's fascinating to me that there are people that have different skills and different art forms. This guy, he's by hand making a cricket bat, and he's able to look at it, and there's that experience again. Just like, nope, this is how a certain guy likes it. It's fascinating.
This top edge, he likes it a bit thinner. Really thin enough here. Coming wider, just tapering off a little bit there. He also likes this toe blended in and a bit longer. Now I know when Mark Butcher gets hold of that, I know that'll be okay. If I'd have left that a bit longer and a bit more wood in there, he'd have felt it straight away and sent it back.
Eric has an instinctive feel for what makes a good bat. He designs them around a fundamental scientific principle, the sweet spot. It's where the ball hits the bat best. Almost no force will be transmitted to the hands.
The sweet spot is the best area in the bat where it pings off, and that little sweet sound. That's why they call it sweet. You know, they'll drive a ball, oh, that was sweet.
And it is, it's a sweet, nice ping of a sound.
I think we got our answer.
Not only does a bat with a sweet spot feel more comfortable, it increases the energy the batsman can transmit into the ball.
Did they say no? It's not transferred back to
Bats
your
are
hands?
made of willow harvested in winter, and this is the key to a good bat. A bat made from winter wood has thick cells, which make it tougher and more shock resistant. There have been few revolutions in the conservative world of cricket. This was one attempt.
A good Yorker dug out by Dennis Lilly with his aluminium bat, which he's using today.
The great Australian bowler Dennis Lilly used an aluminium bat in 1979.
How was it allowed?
Drove that one pretty well.
Technology can rapidly improve sporting performance, but in this case the chaps didn't like it. It just wasn't cricket.
Bit of confrontation here between the umpires, Dennis Lilly and Mike Burley, but there is no stipulation that Lilly cannot use that bat.
Lilly has violently thrown that bat away. Really is a very sad state of affairs in this ground.
What just happened?
For the time being, Eric's craft is safe.
There's only one leather to will a sound, and that is one thing I don't think they'll ever stop. It's just that sound. It's traditional and it's suitable, and they ain't got anything better.
That is so interesting. So what
That's almost done. We'll finish up. Sorry.
Supporting the bowler in his duel with the batsman, his comrades in arms.
On the next one.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I can tell you had something you wanted to say. What do you want to say about that?
So here in the college ranks, they use aluminum bats, right?
Yeah.
You're allowed to use aluminum bats, and you hear that thing, that ping off of it all the time.
Yeah.
Now it's an advantage. It's clearly an advantage. Those aluminum bats have way more pop than the wooden baseball bats. You know what I mean? So I was thinking, wow, and the pros, for them to let them use aluminum bats, and then,
crazy.
but there was nothing in the rules against it, right? So obviously, in the laws, we don't say rules, the laws of cricket, there was nothing in the laws against it. So, you know what I mean?
I need to know more about that Dennis Lilly story. About,
It would have been frowned
Did they
upon.
force him not to use it? Because the narrator made it sound like he didn't like it, so he got rid of it.
Right.
But he looked ticked off like he was forced. No, you can't use it, even though it's within the rules.
Not in the laws, exactly. And maybe it's like man-catting, one of those things that's like frowned upon. It's not necessarily against the rules. Yeah. But again, you saw that he barely touched that ball, and that you said, wow, look at that thing go, ran away from four. Where sometimes we see guys hit balls and it deadens up, right? Yeah. Again, that's the difference between hitting an aluminum bat and wood baseball bats. In Cooperstown, it's funny, in certain tournaments, once you get past 14, you cannot use aluminum anymore because those fields, and this is for youth baseball, they're only like 200. You know what I mean? The fence is 200 feet away. Pop. So it's easy pop. So then, you got balls already flying away as it is. After, I think, 13, once you get up to 14, now they got to use wood bats or whatever, and they make it wood bat tournaments. It's funny because one of Trey's claim to fame in his entire baseball career, Cooperstown, he's got one ball on there, and it's signed because it's the only home run he gave up. We had a kid give up seven bombs in Cooperstown. It's just a small town. That's why you see those crazy scores in the Little League World Series or whatever.
You should have Major League Baseball games over there. Can you imagine the fun on that?
Listen,
he's 4 for 5 with 4 home runs.
Bro, it'd be like that Mexico game that happened this year. It'd be disgusting.
But back to the cricket here. I can watch them making those bats all day long.
It's an art.
Because I have never been a craftsman, if that makes sense. Definitely not a woodworker, not a carpenter, or anything like that. It's amazing when you see some other artists outwork, and he's just doing this and he's doing that. But it's so awesome to see how it's shaped from this rough piece of wood that's in, kind of it's prepared so they can make it into that bat, into that nice smooth thing. Even when they put the two pieces together, right, and then they smooth it out, they sand it down, and it's one piece. That was incredible. That was awesome.
I wonder if there's, and let us know in the chat, in baseball, there's what's known as the corked bat. And people use those and we're going fungo bats. Like when I used to coach Little League and also a club ball, because if you hollow out the bat, kind of like the aluminum bats or whatever, and it's not as thick, when you hit the ball, it just takes off of the bat or whatever. So in baseball, there was a scandal that a few players got caught with the corked bat.
Sosa.
Sammy Sosa. All right. Oh, we probably got in trouble for that. Okay. He who shall remain. I said it. I said what I said. You got caught. Sammy Sosa. It is what it is. Exactly. Thank you. But did that ever happen in cricket? Would it even benefit for them to hollow out a bat in cricket? I think it would as well, because just like the aluminum bats, it's hollower, so the balls tends to jump off of there.
Yeah, I mean, let us know. What do you think? Has there ever been a situation where someone was trying to be a little, scandalous with that bat, hollowed out bat? I can't imagine it hasn't happened, but oddly enough, I haven't heard about that yet.
I mean, we've heard of
match fixing,
sandpaper gate. Yes. So if we got sandpaper gate, I guarantee you, the comment section, I can see it now. What are you kidding me? So-and-so got busted for his so-and-so. Yeah. They had to, just like bowlers will look for an advantage, whether it's sandpaper or whatever they use.
The batters will never do that.
Stop!
It's never happened.
Really? Really? Come on.
Hey, I doubt that. I'm sure it has happened. Let us know what your thoughts are about our reaction to this. Let us know if you want us to continue to react. I think there's one more part. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time.
That's 6 runs.